Hello back guys to a new amazing video from our winter train tutorial series. This is part 24 in 2024. How about that? Isn't everything just coming along nicely? So in this video we'll basically just continue our road to texturing our train. Basically in this one we will do the cabin and maybe the wagons as well. We're going to use previous methods that I kind of showed you. But what changes in this one is I'm going to show you how we can create textures directly in Blender. So basically kind of what we did with the GIMP last time, only this time we do it fully in Blender. For those that maybe just want to work in just Blender alone and don't want to learn other programs besides it. I do recommend using a photo editor. I think they have more effect and they're a little easier to kind of work around with, because again the layers are easier to kind of understand and see, but it's Blender still does a great job, and I think you guys can do amazing with it. So with all this being said, by the way, I did change the mic, so hopefully the sound will be improved. It's definitely going to be an improvement from the last video, that is for sure. But yeah, I hope it's going to be a big development on this channel, so who knows. But you know what I need for that development to work? I need you guys, your support. So right now we're 66 subscribers. Thank you so much for all the effort and for all the support. Thank you for clicking on this video and giving it a chance, giving this channel a chance, really. And I really appreciate you. Also, if you're here at Part24, I think you're doing great. At least you're really sticking to Blender, and I think you're going to have a really good model at the end to be proud of, and you should really be proud of yourself already. So, if you want, just leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're not subscribed. I promise a lot more quality content is coming, it's on its way, and I hope you will enjoy it. And also leave a comment, tell me what do you think about this channel, what do you think about the series, and I still want you to tell me what you think about Suicide Squad. It's a curiosity of mine and I really want to know. So with all this being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so here we are. So the cabin, right? We will take everything. I hope you did put everything into a folder, because it's gonna be way easier for you now. This is why I did it back then. Basically you can hide everything else from the folders and just keep whatever we're interested in, which in this case are the things that are on the cabin and representing the cabin already. So with all this being said, let's take a look at our references, right? I remember that for the previous train I did like a golden cabin with like a green rooftop, which a lot of people would call a very interesting choice, me especially, because now looking at it I think it looks horrible. So I would rather go for like, I don't know, I think a Hogwarts train does the best job. Like this one looks super nice, I love this, but it's because everything it's in this exact style. For us is not. Okay, for us, if I take the upper part back, which is going to be right here, it wouldn't fit that style whatsoever. Like it would kind of fit it, but not that much. So there are two variants that I'm thinking of, the version, sorry. And there are the following. So either we make the cabin red and we have a golden rooftop, or a black rooftop, it depends. Or we make black cabin with a golden rooftop. To be extremely honest with you, I kind of tend to go for the first one. The reason for it, really, it's because the cabin should, in my opinion at least, be kind of the same material that the cylinder here on the second part of it is. So I wouldn't see an actual point for the cabin to be anything like black in this case, or definitely not gold. I don't know why would anyone ever do that. So let's choose the cabin, dash, go into the shading tab, and actually get this to the material. We can hide the upper part. Like, yeah, it looks cool and all, but right now we don't need that. And this right now, only has the UV dust. We don't need that, right? So what we do need, it's gonna be a new material called cabin, because it is for the cabin. I don't need to select that. I selected by mistake. And the screencast, right? Right. So what we need to choose here, of course, is gonna be well, first to see our principal BSDF, which is right here, and of course to get a group. What group do we think we will take? Well, a lot of you probably realize it's the red metal group, and let's see how this will look. All right, this looks good-ish, but it has some problems. As we can see, it's stretching a little bit. It's those areas where the subdivision is taking place, and because of the subdivision, it's gonna also affect our materials apparently in pretty good way, pretty bad way really, but I wanted to say like a pretty impactful way. But as you can see, what to do to get rid of that is to add geometry, which is not something I necessarily love, um, but is definitely something that it's gonna be useful if we do want less stretchiness on our materials. Um, Honestly, I don't think it was, and it would have been that noticeable to begin with. So, there's that. It's also a lot of it. You have to think of how much do you think you will notice it, right? Like, is it that big of a problem? I don't know personally, but I think this looks much better. However, the red metal, I will actually make this a copy. The reason for it, I think, honestly, that we should make this a little different from the others. So first, I would get this. I'll play around the scale a little bit, and actually look, we need some more edges probably here. Um, so probably a lot of you realized this will be kind of a recurring theme for all those objects that had those stretchiness on the UVs. Apparently, I did underappreciated. Uh, the stretchiness of the UVs here. And yes, I know underappreciated is not the word for it, but I cannot remember the word for it. Of course, again, it's happening so often lately. I think you guys are already kind of getting used to that, to me forgetting words in English, but I swear to God, I know English. Trust me. Just, I know there's no reason for you guys to trust me, but trust me. It's all I can say. All right, and another edge here to kind of better help with the flow. And this is much better. Like, this is actually looking perfectly fine. And I think this scale also, so let's make it actually 0.8. Let's see if that's doing, no, 0.85. No, so we stick to 0.83. 0.83 for me is actually not too good here. Let's see if I can actually change this as well. Maybe. Yeah, we could. How about that? Much better. Yes, the hole is gonna be there, but honestly, we could change that by quickly point. Let's make it 84, maybe. No, definitely not 82. Come on, 82 has to be the perfect version of everything we need to do, and it is. How about that? Good. So we do have everything right now for the cabin, or at least so we think. We don't want to do too much to the cabin, honestly. I don't think it's needed. There's not going to be too much snow on it per se, because again, that's why the rooftop is there, but it's going to have some sort of snow. And where will it have snow? Where actually, let me bring the upper part back. It's going to have here some of it, because it's the front side. It cannot escape that. But what we do want to do, and I just read so hard in the mic, sorry. Um, what we do want to do is make grunges. What are those? Well, it's exactly what we did do for our lead. If you remember when we did this, and I think that makes it look phenomenal, because it gives character to it. It's like that's what you need to try to do is create your own surface imperfections. I think I didn't talk enough about surface imperfections, but when I talked about layering and stuff like that, this is what I'm talking about. So the surfaces are never perfect in the real world, right? There are always going to be some stains, always going to be some I don't know, scratches, grudges, whatever. Like it's never gonna be perfect. So we can also have a perfect cabin, and for that reason, we will have an image texture, of course. Mixed shader node. It's gonna be right here. All right. And the image texture, we will actually put. Let me think. Actually, hmm. Because I could basically put this probably here, right? But the problem with it would be that I think we will need to do some gibberish. But let's see. So cabin, um, let's call it cabin imperfections, and let's make it also 2K. I think you realize I kind of make them all kind of 2K because I think better resolution for it helps a little bit, to look better, and also it helps us to transmit the message. That sounded so important when it really isn't that important. But hey, what can we do, right? So make sure that I press compositing. Make sure the body is selected. So we have the cabin selected for sure. We're in texture paint mode, and this is really what we're going to draw on. Okay. Now that we have this, now that we have the surface imperfection image texture selected as well, what we will do is actually, well, I'll move this to my tablet, so I'm going to cut it right there, but we're basically going to create our small imperfections. All right, so um, basically what we need to do now, right, is first of all to make sure that the color of the cabin and the color of the main cylinder actually match, because if you look at it, um, the color of the cabin is a little darker. And the reason for it really, it's because when we made, the shader, the mixed shader, and we mixed the red metal with the image, what it does see, right, is, well, dark. Well, like it's, black. So what shall we do? Well, we can go to fill, right? And we can choose a color to actually fill this with. Um, And what shall we use? Really? Well, we can just, go to color, right when I see it, right here, and choose this red. Well, from this angle, it's actually not gonna help that much. Let me try to pick it one more time. And this time, I pick it from here where I think it's a little lighter. And now if I try to fill this, see, this is gonna make it better, but it's not, perfect per se. So what exactly can I do for this, right? Because unlike a mix color, I cannot choose to, blend it with like an ad or like with anything like that, can I though? Well, I can in here, right? Like in the blend, we can basically work it through with the blend ways of the shaders. All right, so doing so, again from from the blend settings, sorry, um, you can choose whatever we need that will help us out, right? And this is not the only thing that we can do, right? We can also come all the way here at the actual mix shader. Let me just do this. And we can play with, how much the color actually will influence, right? So, for example, I can do it like a 0.4, which is not, doing a tremendous job, but with the overlay also, it will look pretty good. And this is about it, right? And now the colors kind of match. The colors are basically the same with the image texture already involved as well. So all we need to do now, really, it's paint over our image texture. So let us, hide the upper part because we don't really need it, and go something like this. I would recommend to leave like, the windows and stuff because we need to see where they are, because that's basically where we will do our stains. And for the stain texture, we'll basically use the same one from the lid, right? So go to texture, select your texture. I don't have it here anymore. So because of that, I'm going to just say cabin stain. All right, perfect. And just go to the texture tab, open the image, and I have it right here. It can be whatever image you want. It doesn't have to be this one, right? And remember, right click, that's how you move it. Control right click is to basically rotate it, and you can always shape it, scale it, sorry, with the old trusty shift right click. Okay, good. And I just realized, wait, the screencast is not on here, and it should be now. No, I don't think. Oh yeah, it's working perfectly. All right, perfect. So having all this, all we need to do, I'm not even actually going to use my the tablet for this one. It's gonna be with the mouse. Okay, so everyone can do it just as easy. So you can also modify the color from the tool. You can not leave it just white, because that will make it the way it is already, which, yes, looks pretty good, not gonna lie. But we can change its color just a little bit. This will affect this and will make it more or less to the color that we chose, which is a little bit of a more brownish color. And it doesn't have to be like super impactful. It doesn't have to be super great. It just has to be like something very simple that we can see, that will just bring enough life and enough attention to make it realistic. Again, we don't see this kind of thing, pop up in our eyes when we go and actually look at a train, do we? No. What happens though is we know they are there. We just do. So because of that, we can kind of simulate that by doing it as well, right? And we can also, switch this, like make it bigger and also rotate, and have fun with it. Maybe even go a little more down with it. Something like it's continuing and stuff. It doesn't have to look the same. Try not to symmetrize everything. Yes, I did say that, for us humans, symmetry looks nice, but that doesn't really apply with imperfections. So, we should take care of that. Okay? And up here, in my opinion, we should have pretty big stains, because, the rooftop is here. And because of it, it's gonna be like, a pretty dense look, right? Like we're going to all the water basically will drop on this part, on this side of the train. So if we're going to see some rust, some dirt, I think this is exactly where that will look, right? So just do this again. This is with a mouse. You don't need a tablet, you don't need anything crazy. All you need is some patience and the will to do it. That's kind of it. Um, And yeah, I will do this for the entire cabin and then come back right to you guys. Alright, so that's kind of it for this, right? I think it looks pretty good and pretty realistic. And now, the reason we don't necessarily have to do more than that, like, make crazy scratches and stuff, it's because, as you can see, it already does have. And the reason for it, really, it's because the, textures we already got were modified by the person that did it. So, congrats to them, and actually thanks to them. And yeah, if you choose really good materials, the work you have to put in on them, it's actually not that great because already they will have a lot of detail for you to work with. You don't have to necessarily do much more than that there. All right. So again, we will want a little bit of snow around here. And now again, we could, in theory, um, you know, make like a gradient, make it all procedural and stuff. I don't think that's the case though. I don't think we need that. And the reason for it, it's because we can just paint it in, right? Like we just did for this. We can do the exact same thing, but for the snow. All right, so for the snow, right, to be just there, to be just a circular, a circle right next to our cylinder, what I think we should do is actually go to the shading tab for just a second, right? And what we will try to do is basically make a mask that will tell the snow this is where you have to be. And to do so, we will need a mix color node, of course. I think it's become kind of a meme at this point. Another image texture. Okay, this will actually be our factor. This will be the mask itself, right? Like this is what will tell all the other things. This is where you have to stay, and this is where you don't have to stay. And of course, our snow. Okay, and just plug this in. It's actually not gonna work, and the reason for it really is because this is not a color anymore, right? It's shader at this point, so this will actually not help us out. Alright, so what we will do is actually delete the mix color and actually duplicate. Actually, no, we can take this mix shader, right? Is this doing something? Not something good anyway, so didn't matter. Alright, so what we do have to do is this still has to be there, right? We still need all those oh, this was making it darker. That was it. Okay, yeah, now it looks good. And we have all the details and stuff. Okay, so that image still will stay there, but not this way. So this will be the factorial again. This will get right in there as our first shader, and the second shader will actually be our snow group, which we will plug in at B, like right there. And that's what we get. All right, so it's everything but without the red metal, mixed with it. So that's good. That's exactly what we wanted. So let's create a new image, which we will call snow mask. I don't think we had it called like that before. At least I hope. Well, definitely not with a mask being uh wrongly spelled. So there's that. All right, unselect the alpha and press OK. And now, with this being done, we can go to texture paint mode, right? But instead of having the cabin imperfections, which by the way, we do need to save, or like all the others, right? Don't ever forget about it. Always save your images, because that will also save your lives. Okay. Jesus. Okay, so with all is being done, right? Basically, what we do need to do, it's a little bit of a tricky thing here, right? So we need to first of all make sure that we are drawing on the snow mask to be selected. And here is where we need to make sure that this will show what we need it to. This will be our black and white mask. And yes, so white, when we color white, it means we color with the snow, which is perfect. It's exactly what we needed and exactly what we want to do. So let's make a Control T and let's hide this. Oh, and actually this will not be good because I don't know where the cylinder will be, right? Again, it doesn't have to be on the whole thing, right? Just here. So down, no, not on the downside. So I was looking for my pen, which got under the tablet and doesn't want to go out, but I did. All right, so first let me reduce the radius here. And personally, I would like for my color to be a gradient color. The reason for it, and I think white and black should do. I never really used gradient colors before, I'll be totally honest with you. But I think it could do what we need it to, because I don't want it to be perfectly white. I don't want it, to... See, this is perfect. It also helps a lot, the pen pressure. Actually, I think it is the pen pressure that does basically all the work. It's not the gradient color. Let me check. Yeah, no, it's the pen pressure. So you unfortunately will have to actually play a lot with your settings and try to make the strength make sense for you. And I mean, yeah, this is basically it. This is kind of what we need to do. Nothing more to it. So let's get this done and come back. All right, so coming right back. So after this is all done, right? What we do need to do is also make sure that this actually would look the way we need it to look, right? So we need to take this mix shader and plug this in now, and Control Shift left click. And let's see the result. And it's working absolutely perfectly. But I think there's a problem. For some reason, this also painted the doors. I'm trying to figure out why. Um, hmm. So, wait. Yeah, so for some reason, the door and this side of the cabin were somehow modified as well. I don't ask me how. I would not know how to answer that because, well, it shouldn't have. Mysteries of Bledner, am I right? I probably clicked it by mistake at some point. I didn't realize it. Because if you see, I can delete it. Just color it with black wherever you see these problems, and they should disappear because our mask will say, yeah, you don't have what to do there. That's not your place, so, get out. All right. Let's take, let's clean this. And let us check for everything to be alright, right? Because like here, for example, That was a small little problem. And yeah, other than that, it looks. Oh no, look here. It's also. I don't understand. Why did that happen? Oh, I know why. I think. Anyway, I know why. Because when I painted this hole right here, it's still there, right? So basically, I was painting through it, and I think because of it, I basically painted, you know, all those walls and stuff. Because I think if we hide, let me hide the upper part for a second. And yeah, here we will see it painted. And there's a reason for it. Or at least this is what I think is the reason for it. So yeah, we can always, take this out and modify the texture as we need it to. Right now, everything looks pretty clean to me. And yeah, this right here, it's kind of what we need it to look like. So, nothing too crazy, nothing too amazing. Really, it's just pretty easy texture stuff, pretty easy masking, right? Um, and that's kind of it for the cabin, or at least for now, for me. I think this cabin looks pretty good. It looks pretty interesting. So I think we should move to, of course, the rooftop. Because the rooftop has a little bit of a trick to it, right? So first of all, we need to create a new material just for it. Well, not exactly just for it, and you'll see why. Rooftop, and first of all, let's see the principal BSDF. Let me actually just change this because I don't think we'll paint over this one. I hope I'm not wrong. Um, let me just change this. Oh my god, in real time, look at this. Oh, yeah, I'm becoming a pro with all this YouTube stuff. Uh, all right, so having the cabin here, right? What we do need to do is, well, not the cabin, sorry, but the you got it, the rooftop. So first, we need to decide what color shall we make it. So I'm going to actually just make it a little bit of a gold color and see kind of how it will look with it. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I kind of dig it. I think it looks pretty good. It's gonna be something more like this, I guess, but it looks pretty okay to me. Okay, so gold looks pretty nice. How about some darker values? Huh, I also like it. That's pretty interesting. But no, I think we'll go with a golden version. I just think I like it a little more. So um, let's actually get a principal. Actually, no, we're not gonna get it out. I'm sorry. But we will get, of course, the metal gold paint back in here, because if you have a good gold, model, why not use it? Well, not a model, but a texture. You got it. I'm sure you do. All right. So again, base color, metallic, roughness, and normal. That's what we are interested in. Okay. Nothing really else other than that. But this metal is a little too perfect, at least for my liking, right? And we can actually do something about it. So what can we really do is put some imperfections in there. And the way we can do that is, of course, by adding a mix shader into the combination, because that's what always does a great job. And have an image texture do the job for us. Again, creating a mask. So this is gonna be rooftop imperfections. All right. And you can download imperfections out of the internet. It's super cool. But we could also actually do it ourselves. The way we can do this, let me take the principal BSDF here and make this like a dark gray. It doesn't matter, we can change it later on, but do something like, very low roughness, like 0.2 or 0.1 something, I don't know. We need to just notice it, right? We need to notice what we're doing to it. And the way we do it is by going to texture paint, right? Again, texture paint is basically the best thing for us, right? So with this being said, let's get to rooftop imperfections, which you know, will get us to exactly where we need. And now, what we do need to understand is how this works. And I think I explained you the maskings and stuff pretty well already, but what you can do is actually paint over here as well, right? Now the way to do that, if you would give me just a second, because I always forget where that is. All right, yeah, you have to go, instead of the UV editor, to the image editor. If you go there, you can go to paint, right? And now you can see we can actually paint here as well. So let's actually make the color white and paint over. Now I don't know exactly where that painted. All right, so let's paint here, right? We can do, you know, like very small little scratches, and let's do like, you know, something like this, you know, TikTok stuff. We can do all that with no problem whatsoever. So if you're really talented at drawing, personally, I think you have a great way to do this, because you literally can create your own texture. There's nothing more to it than what I'm showing right now. So if I know I keep dragging the screens, so I don't want you guys to get confused, but if you're actually going to, you know, actually have stylus, it's gonna be probably 10 times easier, because not only you probably know how to draw, which is pretty cool, but you can also now use the amazing pen pressure. And because of that pen pressure, right, we could do some pretty impressive stuff. You know, just play with strength and do whatever you want. Feel however you want it to feel. And for example, you don't like this, right? Because it's too plain, it's too simple. Go to texture. You know, you can download textures, you can find textures. And I'm not talking about these kind of textures. I'm talking like the ones from the internet and stuff. You can have the textures that Blender comes with. And by that I mean, like, you know, the clouds. Cloud is, again, probably the most used one. And let's say I do something like this. And I can, not a stencil, sorry. So this got stuck there. Where is it? Here. The mapping, I recommend it to be random, because it will help you out a little more. And now, whenever I actually paint, I can paint right here. And again, it will look more interesting, because it's not fully just white, right? It's having small dots, which, you know, will actually show up, and it would look more interesting. And you can, you know, use kind of whatever texture you want, not clouds necessarily. You can always go for, I don't know, let's go to a Musgrave, right? Which is not that different necessarily, but I would say it can have a pretty good effect. Also, you can change it. So like a Voronoi F1, what is the one I kept using? I think, yeah, the Crackle. The Crackle one, it will do a very, very interesting effect. And actually, let me just increase the size a little bit, and also the size of my pen. All right. And look at this interesting texture there. Let me actually just zoom in just a little bit. And look at this. And you might say, well, yeah, but it's not that cool. Well, that's not it. That's not the end of it, right? What can we do? Because this is a principled BSDF, all right? So remember that part. because of that, let me just put this up there. We can actually take this, because again, that's what we draw with. So we can, at least in theory, I never did this before. I think I did it actually just once. I might be lying. So we can take this, make it a bump texture, not texture, but a bump node, and put it in. And now, not only does this look really cool, but it gives such a crazy effect. And that's the power of masking. That's the power of texturing in Blender. That's the power of Blender per se. You can do so many stuff. And let's say, well, that's, not looking that great. Let's invert this. And it will look like the metal is corroded there. So again, pretty cool effects, pretty cool stuff that you can just do with Blender out of nowhere. No money involved, no need to, be afraid, because this is a big thing. Because sometimes it is not about the money, right? It's about, well, a lot of people are afraid of copyright, and I would say that that's a pretty, I would like to say, um, needed fear, especially these days, because everyone copyrights everything. And most of the time, you will want to do it yourself, just because that way you will feel like, yeah, but it's mine. No one can come and tell me, I'll take this away from you, because they can't, right? So, with this being said, we will use this in just a second. But before we do that, let's actually put a snow in, right? Because it's all cool and all, but without our powerful and beautiful snow, we cannot really do anything. So a mix shader, as always, will save the day. And let's just put the snow. Oh, sorry, it's in the group. I forget we can search for it. All right, and this will be in the B slot. Come on. Perfect. All right, and now we need to mask it. We need to tell it where to stay, and that's pretty easy. Usually we'll use an ambient occlusion and a color ramp. All right, perfect. So now all we need to really do is, play around with the values. But again, to see this, first save and then go into render view. So in the render view here, we should be able to find a zone where we are kind of comfortable with. Something like this should do. And it actually, like, it doesn't look bad. Wait, it does a better job now. Let me actually take the white value all the way down. Yeah, it's gonna be there. I think we will still need to do some manual work for this to work perfectly, but it could be doing it pretty well. Actually, let me check the distance. Alright, so no matter how big the distance will be, this will not help us. Alright, so let's actually leave it to 1. That's gonna be good. And for example, right now, what we see from this, it's gonna be, well, it's gonna be full of snow, basically. Which it's not perfectly fine. It's not what we want. Yes, the rooftop should have snow on it. Yes, this is not bad, but also I don't think it's so good either. And really the reason for it is, well, it just doesn't look good enough. All right, so how can we fix this? I think there are 2 ways, really. We could try to also use a gradient map. I think that would work. But also, probably in this case, an image texture just for us to cancel all those zones. will do just fine. So I'm gonna do that and come back to you guys. All right, so we're back. Um, Now that we finished basically with our beautiful snow, we actually have to kind of show off. Um, so I hope you were paying attention or you did realize you gotta mix between the add blend mode and the multiply blend mode for this to work properly, right? So we need to kind of get the areas out where we want to present some imperfections, which we created actually earlier, right? So let me just actually go to shader, the shader tab, and let's save just in case. All right, so with this being done, I'm going to connect everything now. So now we will need to actually color on the other image. So this image was just for the snow, which by the way we have to save so that we actually will have it forever. And what did we call rooftop imperfections? Perfect. All right, so now with this, um, did the bump map disappear? I guess it did. So no worries, we can put it right back. That's the list of our problems. I said it like there are so many problems we got. We don't have any problems. We're doing great. We're doing fantastic, I would say. Um, by the way, I don't know if I said this. Actually, I don't think I did. For the windows, right? We will do the material for the actual window. I'll show you how to do it. But like for the rim of it, um, it's basically going to just be a simple either black, either golden material. It just, it's your choice. But I'm not gonna stay and show that. That's going to all be off camera. I'm not gonna do anything specifically for it. And if I will, I'll make sure to record it and show it to you. But just so you know, I'm probably not gonna stay and show you all that because I think it's just unnecessary. I'm just going to show you, the important parts, which the cabin I'm pretty sure you are pretty interested in. So there's that. Um, all right, so having all this. By the way, there's one more thing we have to do with the cabin, and that's the door. The door, in my opinion, shouldn't be the same color, and the reason for it, we need to somehow differentiate it from all the other things, right? So we need to prove that, um, yeah, that's the door. It's not part of the whole metallic stuff. So let's put the bump into the normal, and now we can go back to coloring, but we need to, make sure that, the bump is not too crazy. I'll make it 0.05. Did I make it? Yeah. All right. And I can actually use a different texture. And I'll use a cloud texture, yes, in case you're wondering. The cloud is my favorite one. because it's just so easy to use. I'm gonna make it somewhere kind of around there. And should I make it soft? Let me see how this will look. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably going to make it soft. Or actually we could try, instead of clouds, what was it, a Musgrave? That had that super cool, let me see, the crackle, was it? Yeah, the crackle. And let the size actually be increased. And wait. Should actually go to the tool. Oh, this is still set to add. I was very confused why it was not doing what I wanted it to. Yeah, now it's going to do what we need it to do. And if you just wanna test things out, you can play around with different blend modes. So multiply will not do anything because it's darkening over dark, so not making sense. And by the way, the bump map should be inverted, so this will actually look like it's eating into the metal, not outside of it, right? Because that's what corrosion does. So I'm gonna just paint out some of these details. It's not gonna be anything crazy, and I'm not gonna go around, all the cabin. I know this is mirrored right now, so I do recommend this to be mirrored because we don't know exactly how we'll film this, or at least I don't for now, and I will just want to do this. All right, so let me actually just, make my artistic vision here. Again, nothing gonna be too crazy, just a little bit. Just to make it look like not everything is perfect about it, right? Like there are zones where it's not really looking too good. And I would say this looks pretty good, but I think I overdid it. So just come in and delete some of it. And actually I can create some smaller, like a blending zone where I tap very lightly so that it kind of shows like it's still doing it. It's still going to, continue to corrode, but for now it's up till there. So I think this looks pretty good. All right. Okay, and that's kind of the rooftop. And as I said, we should go to the shader tab. Oh, by the way, actually, we just did this image, so make sure it's saved. So shader tab, let's save the whole project, and let's actually go to material and select the cabin, right? And here, this is nothing too tricky per se. I'm trying to think if I'm going to use the tablet today anymore item. All right, so I was recording it under screen by mistake. So what I did is just select the cabin, right? Go to the shaded tab, select the cabin, and all we need to do is select the faces around the rim, right, of the door to change the material there to basically show like this is separate from the rest of the body, right? So also when you do this, what it's going to firstly look like is going to be something like this. And let me show you. And what you gotta do is to just add some more control support loops, sorry, to kind of tell the material you cannot come all the way here, you have to stay there, okay? So that's basically what you need to do. And then you have that. And you will just assign it as we did before. So there's nothing new here. But we will use the metal galvanized warm metal, I think it's called, or Warn something um, from Blender Gurus add-on. And what we need to do with it is I want a darker material here because I like this material quite a lot, but I don't think it works, like this gray. It just doesn't fit it. So what can we do is come here to color brightness and darken the actual metal. Nothing more than that, really. It's a pretty simple process, but if you ask me, it's also a pretty good process. What's simple and helps us, it's pretty good. And now we have the door separate from the rest of the thing. So this is how it's going to look now, and I think it looks pretty damn good. So what else shall we do? I'm not gonna spend a lot of time for the other things. I just think it doesn't make sense to do so. And it's gonna be I'm just gonna call it gold material. And there's a reason I did that, right? Because, actually, wait, I think we might already have it. No, we don't. From Blender Guru, his polygon add-on, because I thought it saved here, but it did not, unfortunately. So what we have to do is actually find the principal BSDF, like always. Go to group, get the gold, and that's what we do. And yes, we'll play around a lot with the gold here, because I just think it's fitting. And, well, this is what I want, alright? So here we are. This is how this will look, and I think it looks pretty fun. You can put like some snow on it or whatever if you want. I don't think it would make sense because of the roof here. And also here, for these, I'm gonna make them gold, right? But there's a catch. We will make it gold, but with snow on them, but not all of it, just half of it. To do so, because I'm gonna do actually right now, we'll select the gold material that we just had there, right? There's nothing gonna be more than that for the knob. I don't need it to. It's barely gonna be seen anyway. So why would I, I don't think you should spend too much time on it if, there's no real necessity for it. Like if you don't get anything more to it and it will not be seen, let's not do it. I did it for some of the bodies in this tutorial, but it was mostly to be able to show you guys, how to do the textures and stuff. All right, so having this golden, that's pretty nice, pretty perfect. But of course, we will need snow, and we will need what? A mixed shader. But before we do this, let's have a gradient map, texture. Sorry, I don't know why I say. I mean, I know I'm using it as a map at this point, but it's not a map. I should remember that. All right, the color ramp for the sake of it, and let's see what this gives us, right? What we needed to do is to give us half of it. Also, though, to give us half of this half. So you'll see what I'm talking about right away, right? So let me see. I think the Y, if we put it to 90, might work. Oh, and this gold material has to be separated from the knob, because as you saw, it would affect the knob. I forgot to separate them. So basically, you're just creating a duplicate of it. So this is gold materials, and I'm just gonna call it bars. Actually, cab bars, because we have the bars from the main cylinder as well. So I don't wanna, mess it up. All right, so we can do something like this, maybe. It really depends on what we need. And we should take like, this is actually pretty good. Maybe just somewhere around there. Yeah, this should do. All right, so we have this, right? Now we need half, like the upper half of these to actually be, where we put the snow. For that, what do you think we'll need? To duplicate a gradient texture, of course. I'm sure you knew that. So we will need a mix color. Put it right here. And actually, we will need to mix the two. I will try to see if this works. This might not work, not the way we want. Before we do this though, let's actually make this do what we need it to. So I think if y is gonna be 0, it might do what we need it to. Not sure though. Not sure from where it's making it though. Alright, so it's making that half. Alright? Yeah, I think I'm right. So we need to find a way. I think Z is the way. Z is the way. If you watch The Mandalorian, I hope you got a reference. If not, well, I'm so sorry for you. Alright, so Z is not the answer. It might actually be Y. No, it's not Y. It's not Y for sure. Hmm. Zero doesn't do it. Alright, then Z definitely doesn't. Or at least not the way we need. Alright, so. That's quite interesting. Honestly, the value that they should work on now should be Z actually, but it's not working. Or maybe I'm doing something wrong. Wait, maybe if I put it to 90 and I play around with the color ramp, it would work. No, nothing like that? Alright. I guess not. Alright, let's actually try to do it by the UVs, and no, absolutely not. And now by the object. Let's see what we get. So, alright, so right now Y is like this, right? What if we put it this way? Okay, it's gonna be exactly the way it used to. Alright. So I'm trying to think. Will this work now? I don't think this is so exciting to see, but yeah, this is how I usually do my textures. It's a lot of trial and error. And As you can see, sometimes it's mostly just error and error. Like I never really win. Okay, so what did we learn from this? Nothing really. Hmm. 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 Oh, all right. Here we are. There we go. That's what we kind of need. um, that came out of nowhere. Honestly, I did not expect it to work. Like I hoped it's going to work, but at the same time, I was like, I don't think it should work though. All right. So what we do need to do, which is gonna be a little tough, we need to tell it to not. So maybe if I increase the angle, yeah, something like this. This will work. Yeah, I know what I'm doing now. I know. Something like this. Increase the angle or decrease the angle. Well, I knew what I'm doing to a point. Yeah, decrease the angle. That's it. That's why it was not properly working. Not because I don't know what I'm doing. All right, so this is close to what I want? Question mark? Kind of. It is there. It's definitely there. But the problem that I have with it, it's that I don't know. It just is that good enough for me? What if I make it constant though? Oh, it's terrible. Great, great job, me. What about B-spline? Eh, no. So we'll leave it to linear. Linear seems to kind of get the best result. So we can, decrease this a little bit. Maybe just 0.02 23, 0.028. What am I doing? Oh, I should decrease 0.02 then. All right, 0.018. How about that? Okay, we're not there, but we're getting there. Definitely, it's somewhere. That's for sure. 0.015, and this is more or less what we need. I'll take it. You know what? It's pretty good. Uh, and for anyone that's, oh, are you kidding me? Now you want to help? So now I'm just moving the X angle, and it's like, oh no, I can do this. I know, you remain 90. You're better than 90. Okay, this is cool. This is good. We're doing this. We're doing it like this. All right, so having this, right, because I kept this quite long. What we need to do is now this is gonna be our mask. We need to see how this looks. So we do have it right here, which is controlled by this, which is good. It's exactly what we need it to be. What happens actually if I put it to add? It just lightens them up a little bit, doesn't it? But it still gives me control over all this, which is perfect. It's exactly what I needed to do. So there you go. And now we will take this result and put it into the mix shader as a factor, because it's gonna be the mask that will tell our snow group, which I'll bring back. I'm actually gonna use the snow group 001 that we've modified, I think, in the last video. And now let's see what we get. And I was so sure of it. They're the other way around. So the goal has to be down. Oh no, actually, did I do it? I think I did it wrong in the gradient. Yeah, I did it wrong in the gradient map. Yeah, so basically, I don't know why my brain functions like this sometimes, but what happens is, right, in this one, it has to be the other way around. So we have to go with it something like this, because we need to tell it gold is up. It doesn't get there. It doesn't have the reason to get up there. It doesn't look that great. What's going on? Is it because... Oh, all right. So wait. Wait. I see what it's doing. So no, we'll take this and put this as a factor. This is gonna be A, and let's darken this. Yeah, this works now. So now, now I think this should work. No, it shouldn't, because this has to be gold and this has to be snow. So this is not doing what we needed to. Okay. Plan B. I don't know what plan B is. Oh, I think I found plan B. Yeah, I definitely found plan B. So you can do something like this, right? Perfect. And we want maybe even more control, right? What I didn't show you so far, you can put a control map, color RAM, not control map. Even though, control map is a better name, to basically better control this, and we can make it easy for, again, a softer, move from one color to the other. And now, if we take a look, and we should take a look, we put this into the factor and get this here. Now that's what I'm talking about. We got a lot of snow where the rooftop cannot cover for the stair, and we have none when the stair is actually covered, and we can change it procedurally, of course, like we love it, to do stuff. So yeah, that's kind of it for now, at least for these. We can actually also do this. Should I do them now, or maybe in a separate? No. So this is gonna be it. I'm going to actually go to the outro right now, because I'm going to leave the rest for the next video, and I think you'll see why. Alright, so let's get to the outro. So there it is, guys. This is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for sticking around till the end. I know it's been a long ride, and I'm glad you're here with me. So I hope this video helped you out. It definitely... I'm impressed on how this looks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I still look at the render right now, and all I can say is I love it. I think it looks great, and I think we have come a very long way since the beginning. So with all this being said, I think I first should say I'm very proud of you for getting all the way up here, and for not giving up and trying to learn as much as possible. Great job, and be really, really proud of yourselves. Pat yourself on the back, and I'm not gonna promise anything anymore, but I think we're not that far from finishing the whole project, which is pretty exciting, isn't it? You'll have your own 3D model with an animation on it. How about that? So with all this being said, all I need to say now is thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sticking till the end, and please leave a like on this video, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. So that is it for this video. I hope you'll stay safe, and I hope to see you tomorrow with another one. Bye, guys.